Bargain Counter Argument, also known as Sock Marionette, and I am a middle-aged lady who talks about books and libraries and related topics, while wearing a tiara. I am also available on Instagram as Bargain Counter Argument there as well. Today I am doing the latest in a series called Book Unhauls. They're going back to the library. And so I'm going to talk about what I'm returning and what I thought of it. So I'm going to start with four books that I had out to prepare for a live stream I did about cross-genre recommendations, like what to read if you're getting into a new genre. And this was fantasy, and it's not even four, it's three. Okay, so these are the books I read and I also ended up suggesting that they might be good entry points for people wanting to get into fantasy. I'm not much of a fantasy reader myself, so don't take that to the bank. And I will link that live stream playback in the description box below. So I read, all of these are YA or YA adjacent. So I read Tithe, A Modern Fairy Tale by Holly Black. This was published in 2002. I liked it. It's sort of like, it's urban fantasy. She kind of lives in post-industrial New Jersey, and they do go to the Fey realms. So it takes place in both worlds. I very much enjoyed it. And it's not very long. It's like barely 300 pages. I also read House of Salt and Sorrow. House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This is about 400 pages. I had a little trouble getting into it, but I think that was just the energy I was bringing to the situation, because once I was about 10% in, and after I'd put it down for a few hours and picked it back up again, I was gripped. I just read the whole thing pretty much in one sitting almost. And I liked it. It's got a beautiful cover. Let's see if I can do this so that the library protective plastic doesn't glare. There is a sequel which I haven't read yet. This does deal with grief. That is kind of the overarching emotion that people are dealing with in this book. The situation they're dealing with is profound grief. So if that is something you might not want to engage with, you might pick it up and think it's a lighthearted YA fantasy based on 12 Dancing Princesses, but it's about grief, hardcore about grief. And then the third and final, not fourth, book I got for that live stream was a reread for me, Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. It's the start of a series. It's very short, it's like 170 pages or so. It's the start of a series, and the idea is that when children are taken to other realms or end up in other realms, like Alice in Wonderland or the Pevensey siblings in Narnia or Dorothy in Oz, when they come back, they're going to be messed up and they're going to have trouble readjusting to society. So there's a special boarding school that they go to. And this is about that, and there's a mystery that unfolds. It does not actually have literally Alice and the Pevenseys and Dorothy. These are original characters who went to different kinds of realms. I really liked it. Your mileage may vary. Okay, so those are the fantasy ones, and now I am going to talk about a couple of older books I checked out. I got You Love Me by Carolyn Kepnes. They're calling this a You novel. This is Joe Goldberg, like the Netflix series. And I had picked up the fourth book. I think it was the fourth book recently, and read it and liked it, but I realized I had missed out on an entire book somewhere along the line, and that was this one. So I read that and I liked it, but you know, Joe Goldberg is a special kind of cat. It did take me a little while to kind of get back into the rhythm of how Caroline Kepnes writes Joe Goldberg, because it is first person. And that took me a little bit of work there, but it was worth it. So happy about that. And then these two books that I've been resisting reading, even though I love Alexis Hall, Boyfriend Material and Husband Material, because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to deal with, like, I heard it described as a toxic relationship, and it kind of is, but also they're working on it. which is why there were 2 books. I preferred boyfriend material. There's a skip in time to husband material, and I just kind of like this one better, but I was not sorry to read this one, and I very much enjoyed both of them. So those are going back. And then 2 more books, and these were off the new bookshelf. Expiration Dates by Rebecca Searle is definitely a book I read. It's about a woman who, when she starts dating somebody new, she'll find a postcard or a piece of paper tucked under her windshield or something that will tell her how long the relationship's going to last. You're going to be with this guy for 2 years. You're going to be with this other guy for 3 weeks. It's going to be a one-night stand, whatever. And that's an intriguing premise, but, well, I read this book. And finally, The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Now, based on I think the only other book I've read by her was They Never Learn. Yeah, I haven't, she has 2 books listed in her card, author card in here, Temper and They Never Learn. I've read They Never Learn, and this is not at all like that. It's really, really interesting. It's almost 450 pages, but it reads very quickly, and a fair amount of it is transcripts. Like, it's about this ice dancing couple, and their on again, off again relationship, and their relationship with other people, and it's all very fraught. And the idea is that there's a retrospective, unauthorized retrospective Netflix documentary being made about them. So a lot of the book is like transcripts of that. So if you like the multimedia, and like I said, it reads a lot faster than you might think a 434-page book might read. I liked it very much. It's basically like a toxic romance. Kind of in some ways reminded me a little bit of Magnolia Parks in terms of the chaos and kind of destructive relationships that are described in the book. Not so much with the drug use. They are athletes. They're getting, routinely dope tested. So not so much with the drug use like in Magnolia Parks, but that same kind of chaos. And a lot of brand names of designer clothing as well. So I liked it, and if you don't mind, I wouldn't call it dark romance exactly, fraught romance is what I would call it. So yeah, those are the books I'm returning today. This is a pretty regular feature on this channel. It kind of functions as both showcasing what I can get from the library and as a reading wrap-up. So if you liked it, please like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. So thank you for your attention, and have a good day or night.